Hey, it's Valerie. I'm Jessica's mom. This is Zoe. Zoe's our baby, and she's being a baby, and she's jealous. She's jealous of anything I'm doing that's not involving her. One of the questions that I got asked by my good buddy Saskia, what is the most common question I get asked? The most common question I get asked is about Jessica's vision. So it's a collection of questions. What can Jessica see? Can Jessica see anything? Why do I say Jessica's blind when obviously she can see? Let me explain about Jessica's vision. So the first thing I would like to explain about Jessica's vision is that Jessica's vision impairment is due to brain damage versus anything wrong with her eyes. So Jessica has a birth defect, and part of her brain back is just not there. It was never there. And part of it in the back, in the occipital lobe that is there, is probably has some damage. When she was about 4 or 5 months old, we took her to an ophthalmologist, and they took us to her room and did an examination. And so I held Jessica in my lap. She was facing away from me, so I couldn't see her face. And they turned off all the lights in the room and just used a flashlight to see if she would track the light from the flashlight. So in this completely darkened room with only a flashlight, Jessica could not see the light from the flashlight. She was, at that point, completely, totally blind. She had no vision at all, not even light perception. We got the imaging done, and the pediatrician put the film up on the light, where you could see the imaging. So when she put it up there, it was very clear, plain as day. Part of her brain wasn't there. And the doctor said, Jessica's blind and will always be blind, and this is why. And they determined she had hydrocephalus also. So they put a shunt in to drain the fluid off of her brain. And a few months after they put the shunt in, we took new imaging, and there was actually more brain tissue there than they originally thought, because taking the pressure off had made that part of the brain kind of expand back out. Some of it was there but compressed in. And once they relieved the fluid and gave it a little bit of time, she started showing signs of being able to see some things. She noticed a light reflecting off of a metallic looking balloon, or whatever you call those balloons. I can't remember what they're called, mylar, something like that. Then we went to a doctor's visit, and we noticed she saw the round black cord that looks like old telephone cord. So she had a little bit of vision to work with. So with cortical vision impairment, it's very important to exercise the vision, stimulate, encourage, because you have to develop it. You have to connect the dots, kind of teach the brain what it's looking at. So Jessica can look at something and I can say, that is blank. And over time, she knows when she looks at that thing that that's what that is. It might not be exactly how I see it or you see it or anybody else sees it, but for her, she knows that's what that looks like to her. And the more you use your vision, the more it develops. So for Jessica, she went from no vision to developing some vision. I think what's confusing to some people is that she can see, but we say she's blind. Well, blindness does not only mean a lack of all vision. It doesn't mean seeing darkness necessarily. It means that, but also there's varying degrees of blindness, and there aren't that many people who are totally blind, and if you look at it in percentages. So for Jessica, she has no vision in her right eye. So if you cover up your right eye, and then in her left eye, she doesn't have vision above here, so above midline basically, and she doesn't have any below, and she doesn't have any over this way, and she has just a little bit in the corner here. So if you made this little bitty pinhole and looked through it, and then imagine putting like a few layers of plastic wrap that are folded up on top of each other over that. So you're looking through plastic wrap. You can see, like I can see my phone through this. If I turn my head, I can see outside and I can see the trees and stuff, but I don't have even the plastic wrap over my finger. So we've estimated over the years that that's sort of what Jessica's vision must be like. She can't tell us. She's not able to verbalize or describe what she can see. She has no comparison to know what it looks like compared to what we see. And if we say, can you see that? She just will say yes to anything just about that we ask her. One reason I think a lot of people get confused about what she can see is because they see Jessica maneuvering around in our home environment. Well, in our home environment, Jessica's completely comfortable. She's been walking around this house now for 14 years, I guess. She knows her way around unless I rearrange the furniture. And then, like, I've moved a table to the living room. She's bumped into it over and over again. But that's called mental mapping. People with vision impairments and blind people, they use mental mapping to know where to go. It's just like you being able to get up and go to the bathroom in the dark without turning the lights on. You remember how to get there, and you just subconsciously know about how many steps and where the turns are and all that. So it's like that on an everyday basis with everything. But if I take Jessica somewhere new and just, walked away, didn't tell her where I was or anything, she wouldn't be able to see her surroundings. It would be a safety risk. She doesn't have any depth perception. She could fall upstairs, downstairs, off the curb. When things are different, when COVID is past us and we can actually get out and do things, I'm going to make some videos that better demonstrate Jessica's vision when we're not at home in our own environment. One thing that is important to understand with cortical vision impairment, especially with Jessica can see better inside where the light is controlled than outside on a bright sunny day like today where the sky is blue and the sun is shining and there's reflections and stuff. It's more, there's so much glare that Jessica has a much more difficult time seeing outside. And when we go out our front door, Jessica can very carefully make her way down through our front yard down to where we park the car. She can also fall. She did fall recently, and she gets really upset when she falls. It makes her feel insecure, and it takes away that feeling of independence when she tries to be independent and then falls. I hope that this has helped explain her vision a little bit better. Very open to questions about her vision. Please feel free to ask in the comments below, and I will answer as many as possible. And if I need to do a follow-up video about this, I will. Thank you for your interest. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for another Q&A.